Happy Valentine's Day. Rick Whitbeck.
Well, when you're not doing anything, I think, are you hearing me?
No.
I need some kind of acknowledgement that
Brother.
I'm doing okay.
I heard you, man. I was trying to look for a different image, and I was desperately trying to do it, and anyways, you know how I am, man. I'm all over the place.
Well, after a while,
I'm like
I just had
the
to
most
check.
disorganized basket case there is.
Well, what I'm saying
on radio.
after a while, I just had to check. Are your headphones working? Oh, okay.
They weren't on, Chris. That's the problem.
I heard him. Hey, man, let's go. We got to go back on here. All right. Rick Whitbeck is my guest. Power of the Future is his mission, and it's an organization that he is representing up here in Alaska, and it's about, it's powering the future, and it's doing it through, let's not lose sight of our labor jobs, our average men and women and that are out there working in producing the things that make Alaska work. Like 90% of our state budget is oil revenue. We're talking about the budget, how it's going to be cut. As long as you got more money coming in, you're great. But soon as you don't, then we find ourselves, the legislature put us in this position. That's not Rick's comments. Those are mine. But, because it takes a human to go down to the floor and vote. And so if you're not voting for sustainable budgets, then at some point in time, you will find yourself in this position, and that's where we're at today. Rick, welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Was in here last week while your daughter was off getting married. And sat in with DJ, had a great time.
Yeah.
Appreciate the opportunity to get back in.
Yeah, thank you so much. We always welcome you. What do you think? Is there a way? How do you see this thing unwrapping from Power of the Future standpoint? From your vision, what do you see going on?
So first of all, let me just go back to what the mission is for Power of the Future. Right, it's to advocate for energy and natural resource development workers, their communities, their ways of life, and what they bring to the overall. Let's just call it the overall community of Alaska, or across the nation. The beauty of what we're doing with workers here in the state is we are advocating for those people that are producing, whether you're at the ML&P power plant or whether you're at a mine, whether you're on the oil patch or timber, whatever down southeast. You're creating energy. You're creating the raw materials to be able to create energy down the road, and you're adding to the state's economy. So there's a $1.6 billion deficit, and Governor Dunleavy came out with that budget, and we're not going to talk budget on the specifics.
Right.
I think it's going to be a very interesting time in Juneau. Now that the House has gotten organized, and we could talk all day about that, but it's off topic.
Right.
But now that they're
organized,
nothing's
off topic, because everything.
Yeah, you're right. Everything's
budget,
interrelated.
Legislator members, caucusing. It's all. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, the old vice chair of the Republican Party is coming into me here, and stuff like that. But again, with Power of the Future, just like with Larry, Power of the Future is a nonprofit, basically nonpartisan nonprofit, paid for by individuals who care, not by the government, not by corporations, not by whatever. So when I start looking at the budget and I say, all right, everybody's freaking out that there's $1.6 billion in cuts, and there's some pretty substantial numbers. I mean, Marine Highway System, 70%, 75% plus. University system, over $100 million. I mean, that's big.
That's
bucks.
big money.
That's big bucks. So how do we fix it? Right?
And then how did we get here? We have to recognize how we get here. And don't you have to recognize how you get someplace
in order
to fix it or figure out where to go? And until I've been a sobering. Recovering alcoholic for about 23, 24 years. And the first thing they tell you in AA is you got to admit you got a problem, right? I am an alcoholic,
addiction, right?
And I have lost all control to alcohol or whatever the saying is, I forget. But basically you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, man, we got a problem. This is how we got here. You got to be honest with yourself, and then you can provide answers to move forward.
And so the recovery for Alaska is to admit that there's an issue and work through it with your legislature and with the governor and everybody hopefully pulling together.
Sure.
Now we've already seen that that's not going to happen.
Oh no.
But that's okay, because there's another side to this. Not only is there $1.6 billion in cuts, there's an opportunity for revenue to be increased. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to open up a mine today and that it's going to solve the world's problems and Alaskan economic issues, but think about all the opportunity that this state has for natural resource development.
Bountiful.
I mean, it is ridiculous. I was at a luncheon, and we wrote about it on the Power of the Future website. If you go back and search like 3 or 4 weeks ago, DNR Commissioner Corey Feige came out to the Alliance breakfast and started talking about the 2018. Yeah, you don't have to do that, man, because it's going to be down a ways. We put a lot of stuff on the website.
No, that's all right. Just keep going.
Yeah, we there's so much opportunity both in oil and gas, with what's up on the North Slope,
right,
in Cook Inlet. Obviously, ANWR is a huge part of that. We don't know how much reserve is in there, but it's decades of profitable for the state, for the feds, and for the producers themselves, and all the subcontractors. It's going to be decades of work.
Right.
OCS and ANWR, if it's ever fully developed, and I'm saying that's the pie in the sky utopia, right?
Right.
If it's ever fully developed,
it's a unicorn.
It's 57,000 new year-round jobs for the state.
Wow.
So for an organization like mine,
whoa. Say that again now.
50, according to AOGA.
Right.
50
Alaska Oil and Gas Association. So
57,000 year-round jobs up on the North Slope.
Up on the North Slope.
Additional to what's there today.
Additional to what's there. That's what ANWR can do. I thought that was maybe like going to be nationwide or something, but that number was crazy when I saw that. I mean, and then if you don't mind, let me peel back that a little bit. What's your anticipation? Next thing I know, Trump signing an open ANWR. Now that doesn't mean, all of a sudden tomorrow, next week, or next month, or next year we're going to start hiring people and all this stuff and all that. Maybe give us a feel of where we're going with this, because this is part of our budget problem. This is anticipated revenue.
Right.
But how far out, and what obstacles and what litigation and what arguments are we going to have, and what permitting are we have to go through? I hope I don't give you a headache.
No, not at all. I mean, the beauty of this is it could happen in the next year and a half, 2 years, where the executive, where Trump signs, let's go, right? The EIS hearings finished up on the first draft.
Environmental impact study.
Yep, thank you. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Acronym soup, right?
Yeah, yep.
So the environmental impact statement hearings finished yesterday in D.C.
Oh, okay.
Now they're going to take all that feedback they got from after March 13th, which is when the public comment period closes. So if somebody's out there that wants to still comment, they have until March 13th.
Okay. And they can do that where?
Off the Department of Interior website.
That sounds difficult.
It's not super difficult. It's not super difficult, but I mean,
but you're talking to me. Come on,
okay,
Rick.
Well, that's why I did mine in person. So, but they have about a month, and then DOI, Department of Interior, will take that back.
Okay.
And put everything together and look at there were really 4 alternatives, and I hear the music coming. Well, we could talk about those 4 alternatives.
Just finish up
There's
your
4 alternatives, and they're going to choose between one of those 4 and put that out now for total public comment period.
I see.
So they're going to choose a final alternative, put it out for study and public comment, and then they're going to take it to the president and say, this is what we want to go with, sign it or not sign it.
Can there be a political stall in that? Since the Democrats are taking over the House and they might not be for ANWR, is that legislation that has to be passed?
No, the tax legislation already passed.
Okay, so all right, we got to take a break now. Now I'm up against the deal. So, okay, we'll talk more about this. Yep. We've got Rick Whitbeck from Power of the Future, so stick around, folks.
It's the Eddie Burke Show on Conservative Talk, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM and KOANFM.com.
Oh, nothing better than Barry White on Valentine's Day.
Maybe Luther. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Maybe Luther.
You're right. Yeah. We get a little Luther next time. Chris says, yeah. He says, I'm going to roll out a little Luther next time. Oh, man, I didn't want to go back. I was just thinking back in the 70s, That was cool stuff, boy. I'd describe it a little further, but we're on FCC airwaves. I can't explain all these things. So anyways, all right. Rick Whitbeck is my guest. Power of the Future is the issue, and And so, Rick, we're in this budget deal. We're wanting to develop. We've got to get. We have to continue to remind ourselves that we are a resource state. I mean, 90% of our revenue comes from resource development. There's no way around it. We can't tax. We can't take $20,000 from every man, woman, and child in this state and pay the bills. Because I think that number came from a while back ago, but it was like $20,000 from every man, woman, and child it would take to replace the oil revenue that we get. And we have to start thinking to ourselves, I mean, are we willing to somehow make those cuts and tax ourselves? And so we have to keep what we got alive. We got to remember where our bread is buttered.
Yeah, the bread is buttered in resource development and fossil fuel development specifically. I mean,
yes.
Whether it's coal with Usabelli, who just celebrated their 75th year of activity.
Wow.
And the estimates are that they have at least that much more to mine. Another 75 to another 100 years, man.
Wow.
I mean, and it's one of the largest coal deposits in the country.
That's cool stuff.
You have everything up.
Hillary's going to throw the coal companies out of work. We're going to be out of work.
You know.
I'm sorry.
No. We could talk Green New Deal all day long, but because it's such a joke.
It is.
I mean, I could do a stand-up routine on Green New Deal right by now.
Hey, get Chris.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I could do a full stand-up routine, I'm sure, by now on Green New Deal. It's funny. I just read an article that has 55 things that aren't green about the Green New Deal. And maybe we'll just read it if we have time, because it only takes about 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll do Green New Deal.
Okay, in the next segment.
The next segment, going up back to our
the hamster that's talking Green New Deal in my head needs to get back to the back of my head. Let's talk more about revenue. So just think about all the
I'm all
opportunities.
over the place too. So we're meant for each other.
We have the Ambler Mining District with a number of deposits up there if it ever could get developed and get a road out there, and that's a huge mining opportunity. You have Donlin getting ready to come online here in the next couple of years, hopefully, or at least be final permits so that they can go and get online. I'll bring it up. Pebble has world class.
Pebble?
World class gold and copper deposits.
Is it in reality done? I mean, I get the feeling. I don't want to be poo-poo.
No, I think it's.
I'm just so angry.
I'm a guy that just says, let's trust the process, right? The process.
That's what
Alaska resources are developed safely and with an eye and an ear and a touch towards being in balance between good environmental stewardship and responsible resource development. This state does it better than anywhere in the world. We're world class when it comes to acknowledging the fact that we don't want to rape and pillage the earth.
Yeah.
So let Pebble's process work.
Yes.
If it's going to get built,
then
it'll be the most heavily litigated, heavily scrutinized, heavily studied mine in U.S. history.
I think you made a pretty profound point there, and not that you need my approval, but we have proven to the world, Alaska has proven to the world that we're not perfect, but we've done a damn good job since the first barrel of oil flowed through the pipeline some 30 years, or I don't know, I came up here in 71 and it was like 78 or I don't know. I can't remember.
It's been nearly 40 years, right?
Yeah, nearly 40 years. We've done it. And then have we been perfect? Has there been a couple maybe, but no, there's nothing that's perfect.
No, I mean,
but my larger point is, dang it, we've done a good job. And how can you sit there and say that we wouldn't do the same with Pebble? It's just it's like I don't know. It's a conflicting statement. It's there's another word I was trying to think of, oxymoron or something.
Well, yeah. And here's the problem. It's not binary, right? You don't have to have a perfect environment or a rape and pillage environment. You can have both. It's not be totally green or be just be totally negligent.
Rape and pillage
of the earth. I mean, that's what Alaska does really well, is stay in balance.
And we've proven that. We're not just saying it. We've actually proved it, and the way we've proved it is it's through the relationship with the industries and the public, because the public demands. I was chief of staff on the House Resources Committee in Juneau, and my boss was co-chair and a Republican, as I am, and he said, and the environmentalists were in there that day in the resource room, and Scott Ogan, by the way, was the other co-chair, and anyways. And I walked out of the meeting room. I said, "Them damn tree huggers, coming in here and complaining." My conservative right-wing boss said, Eddie, we need those people
them.
because
Absolutely.
they advocate. Because if it was just one way, we wouldn't have as great a deal as we have up there. They wouldn't be as clean. They wouldn't be as environmentally efficient and concerned as they are today without them.
They say never cut off the host, but I'm going to cut off the host.
Go
and
ahead.
Say this. We need people who are looking out for the best interests of Alaskans and the environment. However, what we don't need are a lot of the organizations across the nation, and especially here in Alaska, that say, at the expense of jobs, at the expense of community, at the expense of hope, we want to lock up Alaska,
right?
Not allow you to be resource centric state, right? Those people like that forced Stand for Salmon on us in the last electoral process. That was a garbage initiative. People in Alaska saw through it.
They did.
Beat it 63-37.
Because they knew it was a lockup. A total lockup.
So I want, I'm an environmentalist. You're an environmentalist.
Absolutely.
Because I have property outside of Anchorage. I love to recreate. I love to go up to Hatcher Pass. I love to go down to the Kenai. I love to go down and fish the Seatuck. I mean, I want to be around those places that are part of God's majesty in the state. I also understand that in order to be able to live in the state, you have to have a job. Because I am not going to suck off the public. You know what? I mean, I'm just not going to do it.
Hey, Dad, these lights, we need them on.
Yeah. I mean,
I got to have a job, baby. It's about the Benjamins, man.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to cut you off, but that just, the people that are like, hey, you need to be cognizant of the environment. And I'm totally cognizant of the environment. When it goes to the extreme and they say, you can't do this because you're hurting Mother Earth. Well, I'll go back to Genesis 1:27, where God said in the Bible, you own the earth. You have dominion over the earth. Now, he didn't say go out and destroy it, but he said man has dominion over the earth.
Well, the left wing thinks the earth is God.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And that it's an idea. It's a religion. The environmental wackos. It's a religion, and that's the disconnect. Is I don't know where they think jobs come from. I don't know how they're going to drive their Subarus without some sort of, I don't know how they're going to drive without a job and without resource development. You don't have a job.
Without fossil fuels.
Yeah. I don't.
You're lowering your voice for
them people
for Luther.
Them people are wing nuts, man. But hey, we got Luther Vandross going on and out here to the next break. Well, we'll be back, so we'll just sit back. Give me some sugar.
And now we're going to talk Green New Deal. We go from
Happy Valentine's Day out there. We playing the love songs all 3 hours. Chris has been great. And so Rick Whitbeck is my guest. Power of the Future is the discussion. We're talking oil and gas. We've been talking about the budget today. We've been all over the place. Hopefully providing you a lot of good information with a few jokes and sarcasm and love music in between. So, Rick, let's see. We want to talk about the Green New Deal. And AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is going to provide jobs, and if you're unwilling to work, that's not a problem. There's going to be a new unemployment application you fill out, and it'll have a new box on there that'll say unwilling to work. You can just be honest. Now you don't have to lie.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just be totally honest and say, hey, the hell with working. So, and then we're going to tear down all the buildings, and we're going to build new ones, and we're going to end airline travel.
We're going to end any kind of combustion engine travel whatsoever.
Correct, yes.
It's all going electric with
free. Everything will be free.
It's all going
How long
electric
will it take to get to Seattle by a hot air balloon?
Let me tell you, brother, it'll take a lot longer than I'm willing to go. Seattle will be off limits.
We'll still have air travel, but it'll be by like hot air balloons. We've already proven that Zeppelins don't really work. They go up in flames. So.
That high-speed train works real well until you run out of land.
Well, we were talking.
Not unless you stick it in a tube, I guess, and cross the pond.
Yeah, we were talking last week about how the U.S. Navy is going to have to turn around real quickly when they see the railway between California and Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or Alaska, Hawaii. I was like, whoa. Dude, we can't go here anymore because now we got a bridge. We got a railroad bridge sunk 3,000.
And it's funny about it is I've been on an aircraft carrier going from San Diego to Hawaii, and so with our battle group when I was in the Navy, so that hit home with.
Can you imagine? I mean, you've lived it, right?
Folks, we're gonna have to.
You have to stop.
Hey, guys. We're gonna have to discontinue flight operations. We're coming up on the railway here. Just pause, and we'll get right back to it as soon as we get. What is it gonna come up? Will it come up like a drawbridge or something?
But in that future, I mean, you don't have an aircraft carrier because there's no aircraft anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's
True.
right. That's right. We've ended air travel, so we don't have a military. Oh, okay. We get rid of the Air Force. That'll save a lot of money. Get rid of the Navy, at least the aviation aspect of it, and we'll get rid of 13 aircraft carriers that are sitting around the world at different times.
Chris, that's a good point.
Well, I mean, we could just sit around and sound as ridiculous as
they are.
As their plan.
Why aren't we entitled to be crazy?
So here's a list that I thought it would be kind of cute to talk about.
The Green New Deal.
So the Green New Deal. So it's AOC's GND, right? AOC's Green New Deal.
Acronyms, man.
So USA Today came out with an article a couple days ago. The 55 promises that have nothing to do with climate change in the Green New Deal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read them real quickly. Your
Okay.
listeners can kind of count right along.
Go ahead.
Guaranteed jobs for all.
Yay!
High quality union jobs, paying prevailing wages, hiring local workers that offer training and advancement, wage and benefit parity, family leave, medical leave, paid vacation, retirement security, economic security, with strengthened unions, with stronger safety regs and stronger health regs. That's 14, by the way. Tougher anti-discrimination rules, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
More stringent wage and hour standards, ending wage stagnation, increasing socioeconomic mobility, reducing income inequality, narrowing the racial wealth gap and the gender earnings gap, pull trade deals, add rules to protect the environment and labor. The transfer of jobs overseas is completely stopped. Domestic manufacturing grows. Businesses don't face unfair competition. Ensures economic development. That's 26, by the way. While diversifying business and industry in local and regional economies while eliminating pollution entirely, cleaning up existing hazardous waste and abandoned sites, providing education, including higher education to all. That's 30.
That's free.
Oh, yeah. I mean, while boosting community resiliency, fighting racial injustice, fighting social injustice, generally making things better for indigenous peoples, migrant communities, and deindustrialized communities, depopulated rural communities, women, the elderly, the unhoused, people with disabilities, youth, family farmers, while making sure all...
Is there a middle-aged white guy included in that victim status?
We are.
So I'm not in there?
Unless we're people with disabilities.
Oh, well.
No.
I get something from the Navy, but...
Aren't you 100%?
I'm 100%. I'm 100%.
That doesn't count,
so,
right?
But you know what?
I got my toe chopped.
I only have 10 more.
Yeah,
let me finish.
I don't want to go there. Yeah,
let me finish this.
That'll
garbage,
just
right?
mess it all up. Yeah.
Well,
keep
making
going.
sure all buildings are safe, affordable, durable, comfortable. Public transport is clean, affordable, accessible. All people have health care and access to healthy food that's also affordable, and adequate housing, and also provides access to nature, including but not including farting cows.
Oh no, we got to kill them, all them cows. That's right, because we're going to go to a protein-free society or meat-free society where we can get proteins through other ways. And wow, but we get to do nature though, Chris. We can go out in nature if this passes, and we can walk.
Already go out in nature. I mean, we do. Chugach National Park. We were just talking about how much snow machining.
I didn't know we've
done
that.
there.
But we won't be able to snow machine because it's a combustion.
Yeah, that's right. You're not going to be able to do that. Not unless you can find an electric snow machine.
Yeah,
maybe they'll make an electric one here someday.
With charging stations everywhere.
Yeah.
Like
at
I'm sure
Forks,
that cost me like $25,000 for that.
At the old Forks Roadhouse, right? If it wasn't burnt down, we could all plug in our machines there. Back in my drinking days, we'd go there and knock down a fifth of Jack and get back out.
We just have like a water wheel, like a river paddle thing that we could just charge it off of or something.
There you go. I mean, hey. That's as good a dream. That's as good a dream as anything these guys thought up.
It's as good as AOC's got.
Here's the crazy thing: among Democrats, so there was an article out today that among Democrats, 87% of them, according to Huffington Post, so left-leaning rag, talking about left-leaning people, 87% believe that it's gone not far enough with this plan.
What,
dude? Like,
what?
Hold on, let me find that. I want to make sure. I think it was. Oh no, I'm sorry. 87% believe that it's gone, my bad, 87% believe that it is doable and practical, and 47% of those 87 want to take it further.
That didn't get any better. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I saw that deal today.
I mean,
like,
this,
what?
The only reason I sometimes talk about these crazy ideas and I bring out the left's positions is because it's not that I don't even want to talk about them really, but I want the mainstream folks out there to know in my little way that I can do it is what they're really all about, what their agenda is really about, folks. You know, what are they really going to do? What's their real mission? Because they always coin it and they phrase it in these talking points, and it's all fuzzy stuff. And you know, when you have the opportunity to kind of dig down, you start finding out, like, okay, well, how are you going to do this really? How are you going to pay for every building to be torn down and rebuilt and all that?
That's only $1 trillion, though, Eddie.
Yeah, it's 100 trillion. Like Trump said, there's no such thing as 100 trillion.
But the buildings are only, less than $1 trillion. That's just chump change, right?
If he did everything they wanted to do, it'd be $100 trillion maybe. And so Trump goes, ain't no such thing as $100 trillion.
Yeah.
And he got a lot of money. I suspect he knows a lot about money. So I'm kind of thinking, well,
I found an extra page.
Oh, did you?
May I read from page 7? Please come with me to Rainbow Land, where unicorns are made of fudge and cotton candy, and everything is free.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that movie.
Good job, Chris.
Good job, Chris. Yeah, here's the thing, Eddie. The Green New Deal is going to be the biggest talking point among the progressive side going into the 2020 election.
How does it win politically, though, because right now I'm seeing it to be the laughing stock of the media. I'm even seeing mainstream media guys corner and congressmen saying, hey, are you with this? And they're running, like Menendez was running away from the news media. He didn't want to answer.
Or even people on the left are like, some of this is
this is
silly,
cuckoo stuff.
Like, I'm with some of it up until here,
right.
Unwilling to work.
Is it a primary issue? Will it be a primary issue?
It's not only a primary issue. It's
for the Dems.
It's going to be one of those things that I believe, and I think a lot of experts believe, is going to be the main talking point, because you remember, most of the millennial generation that identifies on the left identify as a democratic socialist.
Yes, absolutely.
Socialism is better than capitalism to those guys. So
absolutely.
So if you're looking to generate a lot of your grassroots support and really energize and mobilize the masses, which are the people that are younger who may or may not have families, careers, things like that, and have more time to be activists. Not to say there's not a lot of old activists too, but I mean, everybody's kind of racing to the left.
But they're the future, because 57-year-old dude like me, man, I'm out. I'm not even in the ratings anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm on the way out. But this is the future. I think we just got about a minute and 30 left. But this is, I think this may be politically great for Trump in 2020, because they will run so far to the left. Everybody's going to see who the furthest to the left they can get. That's
Absolutely.
what they're doing right now.
Yep.
Oh, I'm more liberal than you are. No, I'm a triple socialist. I'm a Venezuela socialist. They're all trying to
70%, 90%.
Yeah.
100%, dude.
It's like conservatives trying to talk about being more conservative.
I use the deal.
How does that work? How does that work in a general when you have this radical left out there telling we're going to end their? Oh, go ahead. We got 1 minute.
No. I was just going to say.
You get the last minute.
No. I was just going to say everybody's going to come. Everybody's going to go left. You're going to have somebody, and Trump's going to look like a centrist,
right,
when it's all said and done. And we know that the people who control the center control the election,
right.
So that's good for the Republicans if the left continues to go further and further out into an alternative reality.
Just let them go, man. Let them have their party.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say you egg them on. Just keep it. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea, Alexandra.
That's what I tell people.
Hey, I'd do it again. Hey, everybody today that's been on the show, thank you so much. Rick Whitbeck, Power of the Future, thank you so much for stopping in. Chris, thank you. And as always, hug your children. Tell them you're proud of them. We'll see you tomorrow. This is the Eddie Burke Show.